Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, and I am very happy to have a couple people here to talk about my mental health. Well, not just mine, everyone's, and it's really important because this topic is starting to really finally get some traction in this country, which it so desperately needs. And I'm thrilled from Connect Summit County to have the Executive Director, Shauna Wiest, here. And next to her is Chelsea Robinson, who is on the Board of Directors. Welcome, both of you, to the show.
Thank you.
Terrific to have you. As I said, we're barely starting to scratch the surface of how important mental health is. I maintain that in this country, and really I think worldwide, we should have a certain amount of just free mental health opportunities all the time. I think we should have to talk to a counselor once a week or something.
Yes.
I think that'd be great. I don't understand why we don't, really.
Well, we do that for our physical health with our wellness exams, but we don't necessarily do that for our mental health.
Yeah, I think we need to be checking in, so to speak, and looking at it. And we have an opportunity to check in a big way on this event that you guys have coming up, the Connecting Hearts and Minds.
Yes.
This is in May, and it is an enormous undertaking you've taken on.
Yes, ambitious.
Yeah, ambitious might be the right word. How many speakers are coming to this thing altogether?
We have approximately, I'd say speaker-wise, we have 15, 16 speakers, but we have about 26 events total.
26 events.
Yes.
Wow.
Including the schools.
You'll be busy.
We will. Yes, we have been.
Talk to me about where the thrust behind this comes from.
Okay. In the United States, May Mental Health Awareness Month is recognized, and so we decided last year, Connect Summit County, we're only 1 year old, a nonprofit, to recognize it in Utah. So last year we put on approximately 15 events during May, attracted approximately 1,000 people, and we received such great feedback from the county, the city, and the citizens that we decided, let's do it again this year with an even more ambitious schedule.
Wow, well, it is ambitious. We should talk about some of the things that are on it because it's quite amazing. Chelsea, you've already picked out some favorites. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So I work a lot with the local providers here in Summit County. We have organized a monthly mental health roundtable in which we bring all of the providers together. So I thought I might take a moment and just highlight some of the more specific events that would be pertinent to providers.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'd like to start with eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. A lot of people here refer to as EMDR.
Yeah.
It's more like, I would say it is evidence-based, but it usually has been known to work for those who have been diagnosed with trauma.
Yeah, PTSD. This happens to work really well for. I've undergone this as well, and I find that it works for me, which is great. And it basically, to put it in sort of layman's terms, helps you kind of reprocess events. You kind of go back, and unfortunately, this is the hard part, kind of reliving some things, but helping your mind organize those into a way that is a little more sensible and maybe relieve some of the angst that comes with it, the triggers sometimes as well. So,
great description.
Yeah, it's very helpful. I find it to be quite impressive, and you wouldn't expect it to be so. When someone hands you this little board with lights and buttons, you're like,
right,
like that's going to do anything for me. Yeah, I was a little incredulous at first, but I no longer am. So that's awesome.
No, that's a fantastic event. I think I would add, trauma can be a scary word, so it also can be used for anyone that's been experiencing any symptoms of depression, anxiety, or anything else that they would like to find some relief from in their life.
Right.
So it is more applicable to the wider audience too.
I think this is important to say because I right there on TV just told you I've done this thing with the PTSD. Everybody's got something, and if you don't think you do, you're lying to yourself. That's the simple fact. We all have to process things in this life that are difficult. Life is hard. I mean, you look at and it's the very premise of the Buddhist religion, samsara. It is going to be difficult, and there are things that we have to process, and sometimes our brain doesn't know how without some help. So that, I think, kind of just the underlying tone here should be that we all need to look at this, right? Okay.
Most definitely.
Continue, please.
So we have another wonderful opportunity to attend Feed Your Brain, How to Eat to Improve Health and Performance. I think that this also speaks to providers because there's this cross intersection between obviously being able to take care of your mental health, but then in need to incorporate your overall well-being, including your physical health. And food is definitely a huge component to that.
If you're not eating well, your brain's not working well. It is a muscle.
Exactly.
And we are actually hosting this on May 18th at the Park City High School Lecture Hall because we want to include the students. A lot of
So
students, what we're finding is they have a lot of anxiety and depression, and then secondary, they have body image issues. So we thought we would serve lunch for dinner and have Kate Geegan, who was Dr. Oz's nutritionist,
Right.
and Quentin Kemp, a mental health counselor, come and talk to the students while serving them this lunch.
Critical, this one here, because kids tend to eat junk. We unfortunately have vending machines in school still. They can go in and get a soda. They can get some kind of sugar-filled snack, high fructose corn syrup, things that are horrible for you, stuff that doesn't improve brain function.
Right.
And then you end up with a little bit of a, as you said, body image plus brain fog from some of these things. The combination of this is dangerous. We need to start really, kind of taking a little more consideration here.
Absolutely.
Clearly. So that's awesome. That one's terrific. What else?
So there's also what are they thinking inside the adolescent brain? So this is another one. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Great reaction.
Well, because we don't know. We're just posers. We're adults. We have no clue what's going on for the kids. And if you think you do, again, you're fooling yourself a little bit.
Fair
Right?
enough. Yep, absolutely.
We need to hear what they have to say about that, right?
Definitely.
And we're so fortunate that we'll have Dr. Jurgelin Todd coming, and she's from the University of Utah, formerly from Harvard, and all she does is study the adolescent brain, the effects of marijuana on the adolescent brain, why young people make the choices they do, why starting at age 14, it's an interesting statistic that's when mental illness actually will surface, is during
Really?
during that kind of 14 to 20 age range is when most mental illness surfaces, and she'll explain why, what changes are going on in the brain during that time.
Part of that is the prefrontal cortex is developing.
Yes.
And that's when you start to, maybe once that's done, you start to finally make some good decisions. Say,
Yes.
they figure now like 25 is the ideal age to start making critical
Yes.
decisions in your
Yes.
life.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, once we've already picked a major,
Right.
right? Oops.
Yes.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Okay, literally. All right, talk to me about Kevin Hines.
Well, Kevin Hines, he's coming on May 17th, and he will be speaking twice. He will be speaking to the high school students at a PM assembly, Park City High School, and
Okay.
then also at night at the Jim Santee Auditorium.
Wow.
Kevin Hines, when he was 20 years old, suffered from mental illness, bipolar disorder, and being very frustrated with that illness, he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge.
And a lot of people do, unfortunately.
A lot of people do, but he was one of the 1% that survived. He broke his back during the fall, but he was actually propped up in the water by a sea lion. And
my
when that
goodness.
happened, he said, "This is a sign. I am so thankful I'm living. I regret that I did this." And so now he's
Wow.
a global activist. He's a public speaker. He travels the world telling his story and why you should choose life.
He's out there doing that right now.
He is. Yep.
Yeah. And so we'll be lucky to have him come back and talk.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yes.
It's, I think, hearing from somebody who's been there is an important thing.
Absolutely.
A lot of times I think people don't realize that they're not that far away from it. It can happen. And as parents, we should always be aware that that can happen.
And what we're hoping for with Mental Health Awareness Month is to reduce the stigma from people who may be suffering from mental illness, or maybe a family member that's embarrassed because their son or daughter has mental illness and are afraid to come forward and learn more. And so by having this programming, we're hopeful that it will bring out people from the community and kind of remove that stigma, that they feel comfortable coming forward, coming to these programs and getting more information.
Well, as we said, I mean, everyone's touched in some way by something.
Yes.
You're having to deal with things all the time, and we do call this illness for a reason. It is not. It is very much like anything else. You catch a cold. This is not far off from we had something horrible happen in our life. All of a sudden, we sort of caught a mental illness. It's not really dissimilar.
And we had a wonderful speaker last night, Dr. Gail Hornstein, and she talked about reimagining mental health and what it means. And she said, when you have cancer, when you have diabetes, they'll say, like for cancer, you're cancer-free, you're cured. They don't do that with mental health. Once
Right.
you have schizophrenia, well, you've got schizophrenia. This is the best we can give you. Here's some medication.
Yikes.
But we believe that people can lead, if they do have mental health challenges, can still lead a great life, be productive, and not have that label attached to them.
Wow.
Absolutely.
All right, so these are some of the events that we just talked about. There are a myriad of ways that people can be involved. Talk
Yes.
about that for a moment.
First, to look at this calendar of events that Chelsea's holding, you can go to our website, which
Yeah.
is connectsummitcounty.org, and it's
Okay.
right there, right when you go to the website. We also have a calendar of events link where you can look at all the different events. We have a Sleepless in Summit County event tonight.
huge.
Yep.
We have a lot of events for seniors that they might want to check out. We have a lot of films. We have a Brainstorm Film Festival.
Wow.
So they can look at all of these events on our website and decide what they'd like to attend.
There really is something for everyone.
So important, right? You're dealing with, of course, on a daily basis, your work at the Peace House, which has everything to do with mental health as well. This must come as, you must be very satisfied at the idea that we're finally talking about this in a big way.
Oh, absolutely. This is a gift to our community. It's a gift to the family members, to the caretakers, and to those experiencing it. It really says, as a community, we understand, we embrace you. You don't have to be shunned, you are accepted, and we can normalize and validate their experience for them.
Yeah. I like to say, finally, in finality, we all need to look at ourselves and say that to ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what it really comes down to.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so very much. Again, go to the website for more information. Again, it's Connect Summit County. So many great events this week and in the coming weeks, so make sure you're part of that as well. We've got a lot more coming up here on the Mountain Morning Show as we wrap up this hour and this day coming up right after this.